Jesus said, if there's one thing I want you to know about me is that I didn't come to have you serve me. I came to serve you. Consider Matthew 23, verses 11 and 12. But the greatest among you shall be your servant, and whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. Jesus puts a priority on servanthood. But what does it mean to be a servant of other people? Simply put, servanthood means putting the needs of other people above your own needs. It means meeting the needs of other people the priority in your life. This idea of servanthood, it doesn't come naturally. From the moment we draw our first breath, we are thinking me, my, and mine. We have to develop this idea of servanthood. We have to develop a heart that says, I came not to be served, but to serve. Look at Philippians 2, verses 3 and 4. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility of mind, let each one of you regard one another as more important than himself. Do not merely look out for your own personal interest, but also for the interest of others. But exactly how do I do that? Well, Paul gives us that illustration, that example that if we will look at carefully and emulate in our own life, we can be a servant. And that illustration is Jesus himself. Look at verse 5. Have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus. What attitude? The attitude of putting the needs of others above your own. Do what Jesus did, Paul says. What did Jesus do? What were the qualities that allowed him to become that servant? First of all, Paul mentions humility. You'll never be a servant. You'll never put other people's needs above your own without humility. Verses 5 and 6 of Philippians 2, Paul said, have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus, who although he existed in the form of God, he did not regard equality with God a thing to be clung to, grasped, held on to. And that leads to the second component of servanthood. Humility, secondly, sacrifice. Jesus had everything. He was equal with God, but he was willing to let go of those things in order to meet the greatest need you and I have. Look at verses 6 to 8 again of Philippians 2, who although he existed in the form of God, didn't regard equality with God a thing to be grasped, but he emptied himself, taking the form of a bondservant and being made in the likeness of men, and being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death. And thirdly, there has to be the component of faith. Those who sacrifice, those who give up what belongs to them in order to serve a greater purpose are going to enjoy the unending applause of heaven and the eternal approval of their God.